You know, like, I don't know if any of you ended up like ever hooking up or marrying your best friend, but not that I'm right. Oh no, we've actually hooked up, we're just not best friends. That's how the episode's gonna start.
Macro, I'm from mom and castle. Down like ground like gravel. Coming back around like lasso. Macro, like a vision board, I see with clarity. I hustle like my name is Garyvee.
Alba, motherfuckers, I've been telling you.
Council's talking about equity. I'm Triple H giving the pedigree. That mean that I'm special, my specialty. I put in the work till I'm dirt in the earth. I'm moving furniture to backward.
That's a great question. First of all, and I think you'll love this, within my organization, I assume here, but like it's a younger company, we haven't had this talk, winning, first of all, is very individual. Like the most interesting thing for me is actually understanding what everybody in this room thinks winning is for themselves so that we can reverse engineer it. That's what I spend all my time on. I don't give a shit if you want to buy the jets or if you want to make $137,000 a year, have ridiculously good work-life balance, still keep a job when you start your family. It's unbelievable how much I care and how much I don't care about what winning means to you. Meaning, I massively care and then you get to define it. For me, it's just about the journey of building businesses. It is my drug, it is my oxygen. I love it. I love that. I love this journey because I want to see how we stack up with me involved against the other people that are trying to capture the attention. And so in essence, what it is one big game of how do I provide the most value so that in return, I get the attention that I seek. I'd like to get together I feel like there needs to be dramatically more communication from the top with this small group. And so I think for all of you individually, it's a good thought to think about when this is on your schedule over the weekend of like maybe the one or two things you want to bring up of like closing ties. I'm never going to be strong at like having the core agenda. Maybe the office CEO can take that over for me over time. But I think it's, for me, it's just good to get us aligned. A lot of, when I look back at the last 6 months, a lot of times things are happening in pockets of 2 or 4 or 6 or 8. And I think this will give us an opportunity to do that and then an opportunity to talk about things that are important. So that's what I'd like to do more often. I mean, to me, that's the big thing. Whether it's or I want to make sure we're over delivering on the quality for it and like start really having conversations of what can studio do, how do we replicate, lighter. The entire market is recognizing it. Let's understand what's actually happening here, like at the macro. All of a sudden, after we do these 2 things, like people believe. Like only actions make you believe, right? Like the reason I've been pretty passive is like, I'm not willing to look at rhetoric, I want to look at actions, and then when actions happen, you have to make your decisions, right? Like we are really, really, really dangerous and very excitingly close. Kieran, what's up, man? Good to see you.
I think the biggest thing with New Labor is figuring out how we get in global because global's creating all of the content right now and we're adapting it.
Yeah. Well,
So,
we'll figure out that. I mean, that will play itself out.
So I think that's it. There's actually a lot of momentum on.
We're gonna throw a lot into your guys' pod. I want to really stretch you and Lisa because I just want to bet on both of you and I want to kind of help you. I want to speed your process to the next levels. So this is like if it goes away, you may get 6 new things. That's what it's about. You'll see more of that and you'll just continue to see things.
Totally.
Got it? Just keep that on a macro.
That, yes. And you told me 3 years ago to eat shit on Dubman for 3 years, and I've done that.
Eat shit. I'm telling you, it's But look how well my eat shit strategies work for your fucking career.
Agree. Totally agree. Yeah. I'm Kaylin. I am a VP Group Account Director on a few of our large CPG brands here at Vayner. I've been here for almost 5 years. I think the biggest piece of advice I got from Gary was a few months being at Vayner. I was kind of used to PR where you were constantly on a lot of different brands and a lot of different campaigns. At the time, I was really only on one brand for 6 months straight. And I'd kind of gone to him expressing the desire to be on multiple things. And he basically told me to eat shit for 3 years. And I think, that there's value in doing one thing consistently and getting better at that one thing over time. And I think he's right. And so we were just kind of joking about how it's been 3 years.
Hey Ethan, it's Gary Vaynerchuk, how are you? D-Rock wants some updates on DailyVee now, so here it is. I'm working, D-Rock, that's your update. I did a meeting with my leadership team, I did a meeting with Rezi, the restaurant app that all of you should be using. I did a meeting with a couple individuals that run key accounts. Stopped in hello and said hello to a candidate. That's what I did for the last couple hours. So when I think about DailyVee, I always wonder, like, you know, it's funny, D-Rock, remember when we started this, like the 4th or 6th or 9th day episode, you were like, and this is when we were gonna do it 2 or 3 times a week, you're like, how are we gonna come up with different stuff? And so like, it's clearly worked out, but I'd be remiss to not tell you these are my favorite days. Just a good old fashioned, I'm in New York, I'm the CEO of this company. I talk to you guys a lot about like Garyvee being my side hustle. We are debating very aggressively on a daily basis, how do we show you more things? We're trying to do that, but even today, like already hard, like just had a major client meeting. It was very inappropriate meeting a new very senior client, and I'm empathetic that me rolling in, not only with my camera guy, but we're doing some still shots today as well, like that's the douchiest shit of all time. Like, you know, that could go over very poorly, and so we need to be empathetic for it. I love when we're like seeing athletes or rappers or we're gonna be in some cool settings, I'm sure. I still think you should come to Super Bowl. So when can you leave now? I know I told you no, but you can come Friday.
I can come Friday and Saturday if you want me to.
Well, that's the only time we're gonna be there. You'll just leave Saturday afternoon?
Saturday.
Yeah, done, lock it in. It doesn't fuck you up?
I mean, it'll be fine. I'll see my mom and dad on Sunday.
You can leave early for Saturday and I'll do the rest. Cool.
We'll do that.
See, this is how we roll. Anyway, where did that go? Oh, there'll be cool things like Super Bowl and like famous people, and there'll be a lot more as Planet of the Apps comes out and I actually become more mainstream recognized, and more things will happen. We have an amazing dinner with like a very all-time classic rapper, so everybody's super mad that I'm only focusing on the new stuff. The old stuff's coming. But nothing trumps, nothing gets me going more than a solid Monday with a shitload of business meetings where I'm executing and delivering on being the CEO of, you know, a 9-figure business. This isn't fucking kindergarten anymore. So, just thought I'd tell you that I like executing. I like doing the work. I like eating my own dog food. When I tell you guys to do something, it's only after I did it already. That's the problem that pisses me off so much. Some kid literally emailed me and said, Gary, I need your help. I want to learn more about social media. Did you see this?
I did.
This was insane. I need your help and advice on how to do social media. Because I started a social media agency. So I literally replied to him. What did I reply? Like, are you charging people?
Yeah, are you charging people?
I'm like, are you charging people? He goes,
no.
He goes, yes. I was just like laughing. I'm like, that's like me charging for skiing lessons and hitting up somebody and asking them to learn how to ski because I can't ski. Fucking bullshit.
Oh, hi.
All good stuff.
Madalena's on the phone.
What's up, Mads?
Hi. I don't know people. Who are you?
It's Gary.
I'm Gary Vaynerchuk, CEO of VaynerMedia.
VaynerMedia.
Oh, we're just talking about performance reviews. I just went through a little demo here with.
How'd it go?
Oh yeah.
We're gonna make so much structure and process. You're gonna love it.
I don't mind.
I get a next phone call. Well, I wrote down today. You're like, fix the well, don't fix the faucet.
Fix the well, not the sink. Every time. It's great.
Which was
That's
so
it.
important.
That's it. Let me give you the manifesto on that. A lot of this is, I'm gonna be the bottleneck. So what I would say is, Office of the CEO should really probably write up, be very close to the write-up of all these other things, because they're the closest to probably knowing where I sit on this. Steve's got creative down, and Jason and Aaron, I think, got video down. Like, I feel comfortable there, but like all these other things. But let me give you an example of solutions. I wanna lead the dog to the well, right? Like I wanna basically say, we are often asked to help with digital work where the budget doesn't match the need of the amount of creative output for that. We have found over the last 5 years, one of the great services we can provide for our clients is creating a digital architecture and framework to how to be successful in the modern mobile world. I'm gonna review right now my intuition on the 90% wholesale, what we do best, what your company needs most. Let us present to you, maybe tomorrow, right? Maybe 2 days, but no more than 2 days.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Wednesday latest. How we do influencer, why we've been winning with Budweiser and Panasonic and others, and how we would attack this. Because Facebook commercials are more expensive and complicated because you get into creative paid media amplification, why don't we go where there's less politics right now and let us come with an influencer campaign for you. My man.
What's up?
How are you?
Good.
Real pleasure.
Yeah,
how are
good
things?
to meet
Glad we got to connect.
Yeah, this is a sweet view.
This is not too shabby.
Yeah.
Moving on up. Yeah, tell me what's going on in your world, man.
And
how you're thinking about it.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. So I graduated a year ago, so been full-time making videos for a year. I was doing it alongside school for all the previous 6-7 years.
Yeah, and then all the time.
Yeah. So it's just been like an evolution of making videos about tech, consumer electronics, reviews, explanations, all that type of thing.
Which is, by the way, so weird for me because that's the world I walked into. When I started Wine Library TV in 2006, the only videos online were that. iJustine, Dignation, like Techzilla, Leo Laporte.
And that's where
that's why you were influenced, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Put your energy and forces behind pushing them to YouTube if that's where you decide the right place is. You have zero downside of the distribution. The entire universe is living on Facebook as well. And there's just no downside. So here's what I would say. It's easy when you eat your own dog food. I care less about hitting the vanity metric of how many views on YouTube I have. I care about the net impact of the brand I'm creating.
Yeah.
So to me, if you asked me what's better, 1 million YouTube videos and 0 Facebook, or 847,000 YouTube videos and 347,000, you're gonna win that game.
Yeah.
Not to mention, when you start thinking about real economics, like where you're really gonna get into real money. So like one of the reasons a lot of people come here is, if you really look at like the people that come and visit me and I hang with, so many of them have way more followers than me, but the economics I'm able to create are far greater, because that's how I think about stuff. When you think about who's gonna consume randomly your Facebook videos, they're the people that are gonna write the bigger checks. They're gonna be the people that are gonna come out and say, here's a $3 million sponsorship deal. That just matters. And in a YouTube environment, you've gotta go to it. In a Facebook environment, it comes to you. What I can tell you for sure is, you don't have to pick either or 99% of the time. There's so much fragmentation of attention, you can't lose the overexposure the way that people think. Good creators are romantic and are calculated around their art.
Yeah.
And I do think that you can do both. And you're a good looking dude too. Man.
Yeah, it's me.
Hit me up anytime. Hey everybody, it's Vaynerchuk, and this is episode 240 of the Ask Garyvee show. If you don't have people to give the influencers and you want them to come on so they bring their audience, you've lost. You've lost. Unless you're giving them meaningful equity in your company, you've lost. Everybody, it's a chicken and egg game, Tourette. Everybody you want influencers because you want them to bring the 1 million people that pay attention to them over and sign up for your world. No matter how much economics you give them, you're getting more than you're giving them in that first move, which means you'll never get started. You have to solve for that. You don't actually do it all, but when you aspire to do it all, you just get to a lot more of it than if you don't. I mean, right? Like if I decide I'm gonna run right now out of this car to California, like that is the goal and mission of my life. I just have a funny feeling that I'm gonna run further than somebody saying I'm gonna run down the block. This is war. So I think people are too perfect and too refined. and are scared to lose because, and this is why I started with it, they care about what other people think. I don't care if VaynerMedia went out of business what you would say. Ah, see, I knew it. You suck. No, I'm gonna rise like a phoenix and stick it in your mouth. And it's an important insight, and I'm glad you're responding to it the way you are, because it's a big deal. Like, I like losing because I'm not willing to factor you in to the equation, and for me, losing is gonna teach me what not to do again. Hey, I'm
Getting upgraded. Yeah.
Happy birthday, dude. We're going to see a billboard post. I know, we saw your picture.
Hi. How are you? Good to see you.
Nice to meet you.
If we were to do this, and we were to do it well, we'd be the #1 brand in 1 year. It's that big. Like, we'll invent. That's what I've always been good at. What I've always been good at is never taking the last medium and putting it into the new medium. Right? That's where people lose. Like, if you look at the first 100 commercials, they were all radio ads. So obvious that I think it's been so heartwarming to think how many people here feel comfortable with what's happening now. I mean, really, to be very honest with you, given that I think I've spieled here before, theoretically, I'd love to do as much Q&A as possible right now to like really like, I'll give you a couple of top line thoughts, and then I'd love to answer any questions if you're wondering about like how I think about things, or from my lens. I'm sure Ryan's given you a lot of his stuff, and you know, but I think that the media landscape is gonna go through a substantial change, more so than it already has over the last decade. And I'm sure for a lot of you, if you work here, you understand what that means in the scheme of things. I couldn't imagine progressing my career with not getting into the pure media side of things, but I think I can have a bigger impact than the companies I invest in or things of that nature. And so I'm excited to get to meet a lot of you and interact and take this journey together. And you know, to me, when you sell a company, that shit is scary. What you know what's been most interesting to me as this got close? After we had such a fun, that was such a great meeting for me. I don't know how it was for you, but you know, for me it was like so warm and so aligned and great question. It was so good. I remember thinking, fuck, if this happens, they're gonna feel safe and pumped. And so that excited me, and I want to deliver on that intuitive feeling that I think a lot of you, I mean, there was a lot of words that could have come out of Ryan's mouth of like, hey, we've sold too. That I'm sure for many of you, you've been debating in your mind if it happens. And I know for fact that the majority of the things that ran through your mind of where this company could be sold to were far less interesting than what we're about to be up to. And so that excites me. So that's my spiel. Cool. Thanks for having me. See you soon. What? Something like who's doing what? But what I do know is if you own that and you editorially executed it well, that the upside is so great. When you talk about the way I think about things, it's similar to the answer I gave you. A lot of what's gonna come out of my mind is if this hits, it changes everything. And I'm okay to go 1 for 5 because 1 for 5 is net positive, and I believe the world goes 0 for 0. And that's just my general kind of, if you want to understand where I think, like as a macro, I think the world goes 0 for 0 because people say nice and safe, do what they do, never push it, because they're scared of going, missing, because it's expensive, it took time, opportunity costs. To me, we are now in a place financially, infrastructurally, that we should try to do the ambitions that maybe some of you have on different things as well. And the other thing is, back to the point, I called like, you should sponsor this for or more, and they're like, okay. Like, there's also that part. By the way, everybody's thinking about the one version of the thing they'd want to do that they don't do. It's amazing when people are allowed to do that. Like, the hustle meter goes through the roof if you're actually doing shit that you want to do. Like for some of you, creatively, you're probably more than happy to do exactly what you're doing and do this thing as long as you're just allowed to do the thing. And you'll do that plenty afterwards because you just want to see it. You're creators. You want to bring it to life. You know how curious you are if it would work? You know what I like about I'm just curious. I'm real curious. I also know it's the kind of thing that leads us to writing the #1 book in America. Because I know that's where all the action is, and God forbid we stumble on something. You think NPR knew that fucking podcasts were gonna save their business? Promise you they didn't. But if they didn't try, they would have never known. No shit, but this is, ready for this? This is a macro version of what I just told your editorial staff. Because we're in the yes business, we didn't know what the fuck. We just kept getting to a place where we're like, wait a minute.
For years has been asking me if I could do something like this, but I was in the no business.
Bye guys, have a great night. Such a pleasure, take care. See you later. Bye guys. Bye, great to see you. Have a great night. Make sure if anybody ever feels like it's very possible that you could have 39 things and you could have 7 in 6 months. Like we need to be smart of how, yeah.
Well, I don't know, whatever you want. Yeah.
We're good.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it?
Appreciate it, yeah.
What does winning mean? I know you've kind of...
For me, it's just about the journey of building businesses. It is my drug, it is my oxygen. I love it. I love that. I love this journey because I want to see how we stack up with me involved against the other people that are trying to capture the attention. And so in essence, what it is one big game of how do I provide the most value so that in return, I get the attention that I seek. Like how do I build the best building, the best company for the people in it and for the people that are consuming it, which then creates a byproduct of it becoming the standard. And even more interesting, how do I change businesses? I love resetting the rules of industries. It was so fun for me to change the wine business, which was a business that on the lower price point, there were low margins, but on premium wine over $30, there was all the margin. I came in and broke that, and I love the legacy of changing an industry. I love that. So for me, winning comes in 2 forms. Just building very, very, very large businesses. I call it honey empires, right? How do I build a honey empire? How do I build unbelievably successful, massive businesses in a honey way, the right way, that's good for everybody involved, internally first and externally second. And then if I can leave a legacy that we changed it, like if my Wikipedia says, oh, and then he went into this business and now everybody does it this way, that's super interesting to me. Like breaking shit and reinventing it has legacy. I like the legacy of it.